A forgotten artifact lies in pieces on a planet far from Earth. Few know it exists except those who took it back and those whose ancestors created it. 4 young people are thrown into a race against emissaries of the gods to find its pieces. Mistrust, greed, and magic are tangled in an endless web. What will the fate be of the universe once it is found and reassembled? Get Scepter of the Gods, The Rod of Truth now on Amazon, and get wrapped up in the saga that will not let you go.
Good morning, and welcome to the Motivational Devotional, where we are merging motivation and spirituality to create a daily dose of confident positivity. I hope that this morning's podcast will help you to be more spiritually and positively motivated so that you can transform your day. This is a special episode in a series of podcasts based on Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. For several years now, I have gone back to the habits taught in this book to prepare for the coming year and home in closer and closer to my lifelong dream and my goals so that I could more effectively achieve my goals. Year after year, we hear people joking about setting New Year's resolutions and then abandoning them by February. Personally, I don't find that very funny. I hope that your resolutions are more important to you than to give them up after only a month or two. What if you were to set 1, 2, maybe 3 at the most resolutions or goals for 2024, and then at the end of 2024, find that you nailed each one of them? You can. I set 2 goals that to me were very large. As I talk about in the Motivational Devotional, I had to change and grow to become more than I was in order to achieve those goals. As I say this now, I have done that. I changed. I grew. I achieved. Starting with the November 27, 2023 podcast and running through the New Year's Eve podcast, this series offers 35 episodes of principles, inspiration, and motivation that I use toward fulfilling my own lifelong dream. I have audacious goals for 2024, but only 3, because more than that will water down your efforts. I will achieve mine by this time next year. You can do the same. And I hope you will pursue yours with relentless intent. If you find these helpful, please go to the Motivational Devotional Facebook page and let me know. For now, let's get on with it. There was once a man who decided it was time to build a house. He knew that houses had 2x4s and 2x6s, lots of plywood, windows, shingles, pipes, wires, sinks, carpet, lights, switches, outlets, paint, sheetrock, and cabinets. He ordered some of all of these things and a lot of a few of them. It was all delivered to a site he had bought for his new dream home. He then arrived at his new work site with lots of tools and started to go to work. He quickly ran into problems because he had no plan, no design. He looked at the lay of the land and started cutting boards for his first floor, but he couldn't attach them to anything except the ground. Since that wasn't working, he thought he would try building some walls, but without a design, he didn't have a consistent height, and they didn't have a good foundation upon which to stand. He looked around at the windows, carpet, and all the other stuff, and he got very frustrated. And he said, "How is a person supposed to make sense of all this? It's impossible to build a house. I guess some people are just lucky." While this may sound completely foolish, doesn't it describe how some people approach life? Can you imagine living for the 70, 80, 90-ish years you have on this planet without some kind of plan for those years? I mean, using up all those years that could generate decades of happiness, joy, creativity, and a legacy without any kind of plan for them is a lot like that guy trying to build a house without a design, isn't it? All those materials wasted and misspent seem like they would be the same as years and years also misspent. So, where is your design? I don't mean for this to be harsh because I started out my adult life with expectations that were more like a fantasy because I also didn't have much of a plan. I just wanted to be retired by the time I was 35 because I had become wealthy enough to do it. Then I opened up the Help Wanted section of the paper and started hunting for jobs that other people wanted someone to do without any consideration for my lifelong dream, much less any kinds of goals. Yep, I wasted a whole lot of building materials on years and years of no plan, but making some brilliant cuts. Fortunately, I encountered people who understood what it takes to build a life and that a design is a requirement. What I still didn't realize, though, was that learning to create that design depends on being able to let go of a whole lot of stuff. You can never go back and put those resources back together that were wasted on not having a design. You can, however, use what you learned about why that didn't work in order to refine your design now and be very focused as you cut and nail together and craft your design into the life you want to live. Building a terrific life takes time. The 7th habit of sharpening the saw is so much more than just taking time off to relax. When I work in my wood shop, taking the time to sharpen my tools or clean up also offers opportunities to look at the design and notice whether it needs tweaking before I dive back into the project. While you sharpen yourself, you look at the pieces laying around you to work on the design, and some things fit together well, and other things you thought you wanted to include actually go into the trash. At some point, something you already built in place gets torn back down, taken out, and redesigned for something you like better. Please keep in mind that this does not suggest that people are to be pulled out and thrown away unless they are toxic and were not part of your design in the first place. Just adding that in here. Designing your life is an ongoing process. This is the last segment in our series on the 7 habits of highly effective people. In summing up all 7 of these habits, realize that none of it is effective if we don't take the time to sort things out before jumping in to go to work. Take the time to design, and as you design, have the courage to design it big and beautiful and worthy of a lifetime of effort, because all of creation is conspiring in your favor to make it that way. Trust that the universe always has your back, and you will build the life that you design. Steve Jobs, founder of Apple, once said, "Design is a funny word. Some people think design means how it looks. But of course, if you dig deeper, it's really how it works."
Thank you for taking the time to listen today. Please help keep this podcast going by following the Motivational Devotional Facebook page, following @Threefold Way Radio on Twitter, and sharing the written format of today's message from motivational-devotional.com on your social media. I am deeply grateful for your support, and thank you for letting Motivational Devotional be part of your journey. Peace out. See you tomorrow.
Motivational Devotional is a production of Threefold Way Radio, LLC.